Hey everybody! I hope you guys have been doing well. We have been doing good, moving and thriving and just being great. So I know it's been a long time since we've had a little update, chit chat, catching up session. I believe it was like, oh my God, the last thing was maybe before we had started school. I don't remember. Anyway, let's chat. Today is like a combo video. It's kind of like a how things have been, what's working, what's not working, and also a little, I don't know, a little elephant in the room business as well. Anyway, so we are now into quarter 2 of our school year. We started a little bit later than most people. We started September 20th. And we had all our curriculum finally come in. I remember the first day of school, the last piece of huge curriculum haul came in, and it was literally right on time. So my kids have been doing really, really good. We are literally finishing up the last of what we didn't finish up last year and moving on to our new books. Jerry and Kelsey, they're already in their first grade math curriculum, so they're doing good with that. We are at the very end of our kindergarten reading curriculum. Elijah's doing really good. He is going over multiplications. He's starting to learn those pretty easier than he had before. He's working on his handwriting. Just everything's doing good. Our curriculum is working great for us. No changes. Although the only issue that I have is maybe with not reason for, I use that year before last, but Horizon's handwriting, they don't give you much individual letter cursive practice. So I think we're gonna have to, I've been like just finding free printables online for that. So that's the only thing like I'm not very happy with, but everything else is doing good. He's doing great with his grammar. If you recall, I used BJU Press for grammar. We're also using BJU for Heritage Studies 3, which is his social studies, and I love it because it's only 85 lessons. So, we don't have that need to get so much in. We can like really take our time with it. And he's at a point now where he's reading it on his own. He's doing his activity manual by himself. So that's pretty good. We're still using Typesy for our typing program. That's working pretty well too. What else? Spelling is going good. It's going a lot faster than it was last year for Elijah. We do spend 2 weeks on one spelling list, and I don't have a problem with that. And we're going to keep doing that. And it's working out really, really well. And this was Jerry and Kelsey's first year doing spelling, and they're really thriving on it. So I'm really happy about that too. We just had report cards back in November 21st. We have report cards. Everybody made the AB honor roll. Yay! So proud of them. And it's also a good motivator for them as well. When they don't do too well, Jerry and Kelsey, they don't really take a lot of tests per se. They take math tests and spelling tests, and that's it. But it really motivates them to want to learn their spelling words. Well, you really can't pass a spelling test unless you make an 80 or higher. But anyway, it just motivates them to make sure that they study and know all their words. So when it is a test time, they make a B on it. Same thing with Elijah. Now he has been struggling a little bit with like, oh my God, his first grammar test. It was like he was literally racing through it. Okay, I'm done. And we're gonna have to work on that with him because he missed a huge chunk of his grammar test just because he was being a speed demon on it. Reading, we did have to do a retest on reading. We're just gonna have to keep practicing those phonics rules, until he gets it down. So I think that maybe the week of a test, maybe like 3 days before the test, we'll just strictly do reviewing. Whereas now we've been reviewing right before the test, and I think he might need a little bit more time for that. Grammar, he's pretty good with that, just as long as he kind of just takes his time with it. Also, another issue with some of you moms may be able to relate to is that when your child has something, sometimes they're more concerned with getting it completed than actually learning what to do. So we had grammar. This was last week, and Daddy was home with us all last week. So he got to sit in with homeschool and see how things go, and just our schedule and routine. Well, anyway, Elijah had a grammar paper. It wasn't a test or anything, but he wasn't paying close attention. He thought he didn't read the directions, and he totally misinterpreted what he was supposed to have done for the assignment. And so I'm telling him, hey, in my most gentle voice ever, hey, you need to fix this one and then check that one, and then tears and more tears. And I'm like, what happened? Because I was looking down trying to point and show him, and I'm seeing all these tears. I'm like, what happened? You're just giving me all this stuff to do and you're just screaming at me. I'm like, I wasn't screaming. Anyway, so I had him calm down, like, okay, you know what, take a break, son, because I'm not screaming. All I was doing was telling you what needs to be fixed. That's it. He got out of that. Okay. The next day for reading, he had to do that, the third letter alphabetical order. Same thing. It was obvious that he rushed through it because he knows how to do that. And so I was like, hey, you're going to have to I didn't even want to circle the ones that were not correct at that point because it was so much. I was like, hey, go back. You're going to have to fix this. Because it was so obvious. He was just putting the words where it belongs. And tears. And I'm like, let's circle back to that. So I just moved that to the very end of the day where I was working with Jerry and Kelsey on their Wordly Wise, which is going fabulous, by the way. Oh my, and they love it. Anyway, so while they were working on Wordly Wise, they were at that journal part where they have to draw a picture and talk about it. So while they were doing that, he redid his alphabetical order with no help from me, and he got them all right. So you have to really know your child and know the difference between when they're really struggling or when they're just frustrated because they just don't want to do it. Which, I mean, I can get that way sometimes too. Maybe that's why I can relate a little bit and I have more compassion about it. But at the end of the day, it has to get done. And then on Friday, and this is something Daddy definitely needs to work on. So Friday's math lesson, it was a little longer than normal. Okay, and before he even looked at it, he just kind of flipped the pages to see what was the lesson about, and instantly his mood, his attitude, it was terrible. Let me back up and preface by saying the kids got up that day. Now we're on a 4-day week, and they got up. They had already used their free day off. They got up wanting, Jerry was like, oh, can we flip our day today? I already knew it was a horrible idea. I know this. I know my children. I know me. But the best way for kids to learn is to sometimes let them go through it. I said, Jerry, are you sure you want to flip your day? Meaning do the fun stuff they want to do first and then do school later. Yes, Mama, just trust me. We'll start school at 11 o'clock. So I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Yes, Mama, yes. Okay, fine. So I let them do that. 11 o'clock, they went ahead and did everything they needed to do. I made lunch and we got our day started. But since the day had gone, they had been up pretty early. And the day had, they done all their stuff. They ate a big lunch. And then I'm assuming Elijah just got tired. Even Jerry had to say, Mom, I don't want to do this again. I don't want to flip my day around again. I'm tired and I know I have to do this. And I'm like, okay. See? Anyway, so now everybody's kind of tired and in chill mode. So Elijah sees his math. And it wasn't that much. It's just that the pictures were bigger and what he had to do was a little longer than normal. And he was already a bad attitude. I mean, it was pretty bad. He was like mad saying, can I just do one page of it? And I'm like, no, look at this. It's not that much to do. I promise you, just look through it and actually work it. It's not a lot. It just looks like a lot because the pictures are big and spaced out, and he just was not hearing it. Lots of crying and screaming and yelling. And of course my husband got really, really mad because when I tried to let him know that he wasn't doing something correctly because he didn't read all the instructions, Um, when he got it wrong, he's erasing and getting mad. And my husband triggered my husband. And I'm like, just watch and learn. And so I told him by this point his face is soaking wet and he's almost hyperventilating and over nothing. So I was like, listen, get a tissue, wipe your face, go lay down for about 10 minutes. Put the diffuser in his room, ran some lavender so he can calm down, gave him some ice water and was like, just chill. So I closed the door. 10 minutes later, he came back, ready to work, much better attitude. And he finished his work. And when he was finished, he had this little smirk like, kind of like mama was right. Of course I was right, sweetie. But anyway, we got through it. So it was really cool. What I try to tell my husband, don't go toe to toe. Like, do you really want to find yourself arguing with your kid about something that they have to do? There's no getting around it. You're gonna do this math work. You're not gonna put it off because it's not that much to do. Like, I always assess and make sure, is this too much? Am I asking too much? But I always know when to stop, you know? But this was something he totally could have done. It was the first thing we did off the top. So yeah, he was fine. And I think just by you being calm and cool and still showing them that, hey, listen, I know you don't like it. I know you don't want to do it, but it has to be done. Even with Jerry, he's my child that every day he's going to see if he can try to get out of school. But one thing, my husband was getting kind of irritated because Jerry was wanting to find ways to ditch school. My stomach hurt, my toe hurt, my head hurt. Even at night, I think tomorrow I'm going to be sick. And I told my husband, I was like, listen, before you snap at him, think about it. You've been with us every day this week. And every day, once he gets started, he's the only one that we don't have to like constantly redirect. Jerry's the type, he might try to get out of it, but once he's going, he takes off like a rocket. Like, we don't need to redirect him at all. He just does everything. He's like, I'm here, I might as well work. You know, he's that type. So you just gotta pay attention to the little stuff and how your kids do and act so that you know how to act accordingly. So for me, if he wants to complain about school, I don't care. Let him complain. Tell me how you feel. I mean, everybody has a right to be heard. I hate it when I'm not heard. Even when I'm being ridiculous and I'm complaining about stuff, I still want to be heard. It's frustrating because I feel like you don't care. I feel like I'm not enough to be heard. Like, what I'm saying is not important, and that's not a good feeling. And I don't want my kids to feel that way either. So even when they are, you know, acting irrational or, you know, out of hand, I still want to hear what you have to say. I mean, more than likely what I said still stands, but I still want to hear why you're acting this way. I want to hear what is causing you to do what you do. I want to hear from your perspective. And kids have a right to be heard. Grown-ups have a right to. You want to be heard, right? All right, listen to them. Now, swim lessons. Well, the gift and the curse. So my kids, I finally got my kids back into swim, which was really easy for the fall lessons because lots of daytime spots since my kids are homeschooled. I got my daughter in the 11:40 class and my boys into the 12:20 classes. And that took up a huge chunk of our morning. So we tried to start a little earlier than normal, like at 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know, we had a couple problems. So usually we got started around our normal time, 9 o'clock, 9:30. So anyway, so her class starts at 11:40. Now, when they get ready for school, they already have their bathing stuff on. The boys have their swim trunks and their pants and a shirt. My daughter has on her bathing suit, sweatpants, and a top. So everybody's ready to go. Their bags are always packed either the night before or the morning of, before we even start school. And so I usually try to get to, like, I mean, this space is pretty small. You can get anywhere between 5 and 7 minutes. But I try to leave the house at 11:10 because we gotta walk to the elevator, walk down to the parking garage of the car, and you know, little legs are slow. So instead of rushing and yelling at everybody, I just I just leave around 11:10, make it there around 11:15, 11:20. You know, that gives us time to walk up to the shower area, give her washed off. The boys are pretty much self-sufficient, but they don't start till later. But we typically got home, well, the boys' class is over at 1, and then they have to get dressed. Sometimes they play in the locker room, and it takes a little longer, so I have to stick my head in, hey, get dressed. Like, whose crazy mom is that? Anyway, so I have to, we'll probably get home around 1:30, and then we'll eat lunch. Sometimes I'll pick up takeout, sometimes I don't. You know, have to still prepare lunch. But then, you know, as soon as we get home, they have to shower. I wish we could shower there, but we need a lot to shower. So it's not just, you know, maybe if my husband could consistently come, I would have him go in there with the boys, because we have so much stuff, and I don't want naked butts on the bench. And, you know, I'm real freaky like that. Ooh, don't sit on that, you know. So they just put their clothes on and they just shower when we get home. And put on their lotion. That's another thing. They gotta put on lotion and do their face, you know, all that kind of stuff. So we just shower and get back home. So usually sometimes we don't start back to school till 2:30, almost 3 o'clock. And then I'm too tired. But we've been pushing through. And I'm really proud of all of us for being able to come back and, you know, just really buckle down on those days. And it's twice a week. So in January, it's much better now, because I have them all in Tuesday, Thursday, 11 o'clock. So I guess we're going to have 2 different instructors on those days. I don't know, but I just have everybody at 11 o'clock. So that's another reason why it's been kind of difficult for me to film too, because, you know, so much has been going on in between time. You know, and then we've been having consistently good days. I can count how many days have just been like not happening today, but very few. But everybody's working, we're all making good grades, and everything's just going really, really good. So that's our update. I was gonna give a little spiel about some other stuff that I want to talk about, but I think I'm gonna make that in another video. So you stay tuned, and I will be right back to kind of fix my lighting and do a couple other little things, and we're gonna talk about some stuff I need to talk about. All right, just give me a few minutes. Bye.